As you might think, I'm a lot shorter, but no, that's a shot of two of our beautiful dogs that Professor Gaylene Fasenko has brought in. And Gaylene is with the University of Alberta's Department of Agricultural, Food and Nutritional Science. And today we're going to be talking a lot about that relationship between humans and animals. And I want to just start off by showing this. Can you tell us what is this tunnel of time?
Well, our department is going to be having a celebration as part of the 100th anniversary of the University of Alberta, something called Food and You Day, talking about where our food comes from. And as part of this event, we're going to have a companion animal tunnel of time, talking about many different types of companion animals and how the role of companion animals has changed over the last 100 years.
Right. So, and the companion animals, you're not just talking about work dogs, you're talking about all pets?
All companion animals. You know, the role and the definition of companion animals has changed from one of cats, dogs, maybe the odd gerbil, to snakes, amphibians, birds. So we're really expanding our definition of what a companion animal is.
Can people get the same type of emotional relationship with animals that seem less expressive, like iguanas or parakeets?
Yes, I believe they can, and there certainly is a place for reptiles and amphibians. For example, people that may have allergens to cats and dogs, and they still want to have an animal in their home.
Beautiful living creature.
Yeah, beautiful living creature, teach their kids about them.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good idea.
All right, well, we're going to find out more, including, as I mentioned before, dogs that can sniff out cancer and the 15,000-year relationship that humans have. New friend Ariel, who's joined me with Gaylene Fasenko, who's a professor of agricultural and food and nutritional science at the University of Alberta. And Gaylene, when we're talking about this relationship between humans and animals, you raised a fascinating case that really proved the point, which was that of Hurricane Katrina. Can you quickly break it down for us?
Well, after Hurricane Katrina, obviously that was a very devastating hurricane. And one of the things that was happening was there's such a bond between owners and their companion animals that many people, even though it was mandatory evacuation, would not leave because there was no provisions provided for their companion animals at the shelters where they went to. So after Hurricane Katrina, the U.S. government has been considering this, and FEMA is now considering having special shelters for people where they can take their companion animals. When you think about it, when these people are going through this, if they can take their companion animal with them, it's the one constant that they have left in their life. They don't know whether they'll have a home left, but they do know that their companion animal is safe, and it provides them with a focus, someone else to care for, someone else to look after.
Take your mind off your own problems.
Take your mind off your own problems.
Also just that emotional comfort that you have of holding and petting your animal.
Yeah.
So, you know, humans and animals, humans and dogs specifically, we've had a very long relationship. You were telling me on the break, 15,000 years.
About 15,000 years, they figure dogs have been domesticated.
So before that, all dogs were wolves, correct?
Yeah. The dogs have evolved from wolves, which is quite a fascinating story in and of itself, because you look at all the breeds that you're going to be showcasing on your show today, they're very different from that of the wolf, and very different from each other. And people have genetically selected for certain traits that have been beneficial to us, sometimes beneficial to the dog, and unfortunately sometimes not beneficial to the dogs.
Well, let's talk about that, because some breeds have had more difficulty dealing with human intervention than others. The bulldog, for instance. Can you tell us about that?
Certainly. The bulldog, over the last 50 or so years, they've really bred the dog for looks, a nice big head, narrow hindquarters, and because of that, it has great difficulty whelping or having puppies naturally. And so most responsible breeders will use cesarean section to whelp their puppies in bulldogs.
Because of the big heads of the puppies
get caught in the birth canal.
And these narrow hips on the mothers. So.
Yeah.
And they also have trouble, is it correct, they have trouble breathing?
Yeah, the dogs that have what they call the pushed-in faces, they have a certain skull type, and they tend to have more respiratory problems, and bulldogs, as an example, would have problems with dissipating heat in the summertime. So they're very prone to heat stress, those dogs. And
I mean, there are other problems that arise from breeding. I mean, we hear about puppy mills and the inbreeding. A variety of animals are, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but they say that certain dogs are kind of a little bit dense because of all of the interbreeding. Is that correct?
It can be. That's one of the aspects that humans have bred for, is nice, calm animals, willing to please, and so they may have lost some of their intelligence in that. The shepherds are another example. German shepherds, they've bred them for a nice sloping back hip. It makes them more prone to hip dysplasia. Dr. Purcell was just talking about some issues with bone issues, and that's certainly one of them.
Yes, all right. Well, when we come back, we're going to find out about a whole bunch of...